Good Friday morning, everyone. Welcome back. You're watching the Kaiser Report. I'm John, coming to you today with the start of a brand new weekend that's going to be wonderful for us, I believe, today. Starting with sunshine, 85 degrees, and cooling a little in the evenings. But we're going to be having a nice, cool day today and weekend as well. So with that, I'm hoping you all have some plans for the weekend. And if you do, and if you're planning on a cookout, remember to call Lazy J Farms in Kingsport, Tennessee, and order up your meats special cut and get your hamburgers and hot dogs ready. Call Butch out there. Tell him Kaiser sent you. You'll see their commercial here at the end of this video. So again, that's Lazy J Farms. You can find them on Facebook and in the phone book and in Kingsport, Tennessee as well. Their Butch over there is ready for your phone call, so get on with it and have a great plan for this weekend. A plan to get out and relax somewhere, or even if it's in your own backyards, or take a walk on a beautiful lakeside or a pond if you have one available to you, and sit and reflect about all of the things that are happening in and around us. Every day anymore, there's something like yesterday's school shooting that took place. And I guess you all heard that the perpetrator, the young man that did this, 14 years old, will be in court this morning for an arraignment, along with his father, who has been arrested and charged with second-degree murder. It seems that he's the one that purchased the gun for this young man and had warning signs while in the home and from outside the home, and nothing was put forth to stop this senseless death of four people, 2 young students and 2 teachers, as well as the 9 others that were injured in some fashion. It's a terrible thing, but these things are happening, as I said yesterday, through a rise in mental illness, a rise in social media disturbances, what I call disturbances that we see every day taking place with not only the young people, but even the older, uneducated minds that are easily twisted, as well as the drug situation in this country. It is readily available. There's all kinds of nonsense that this fentanyl has been added to, everything, including your marijuana that everybody thought was so safe. Well, now there's a strain out there that'll kill you and kill your kids. So I would pay very, very particular attention to that one. And these are things that are going on right now. Mental illness is on the rise. We have a unknown amount, but in the millions of people that have been let into this country without vetting and without being checked out for past mental illnesses and where their allegiances lie and so on and so forth. But this always propagates what's going to take place later down the road. And I see every day there's killings done by these illegal immigrants that have been arrested maybe 2 and 3 times and then put out back in the street to do more harm to somebody else. And it's almost funny, but it's not.
Great. Just great.
They're coming to a neighborhood near you when they get through finishing the destruction of our major beautiful cities such as New York, Chicago, L.A., San Francisco, Phoenix, Arizona. They're getting in, they're doing the damage, and they are not helping our economy or adding anything to our economy. There are probably some good ones that got through too. I'm not saying they're all this way. So we need to have somebody at the helm of this country right now that can put a stop to this border crisis that we're looking at and put a stop to the wildness in spending and free programs being given to people that are non-deserving of it, while we have people in this country, such as our veterans, our citizens that are on bad times right now, living in cars and on the street or in tents. These people are not being taken care of, but yet we're bending over backwards to take care of some other countries where they've emptied their jails out to our border, and their mental institutions, and their hospitals with sick people. We have no idea of the strains that may be getting into our population as a result of non-vaccinated people, as well as even worse. So you even look at measles is on the rise again. These are things that were eradicated years ago and we thought were taken care of. Well,
that's not right.
We have to have control of our border situation, and the border is very important at this particular juncture. But even more important is our economy. Now, the Fed's come out, and Janet Yellen is saying this morning that she thinks that the economy is just fine. And, of course, Grandma Yellen needs to go home and play with the grandkids, because she brings nothing to the party, nor does Powell. But they're talking about a 0.5% decrease, which may or may not cause the stock market to go into a tizzy. We don't know. But you cannot use the stock market as a barometer for your economic health. I tell you this all the time. It's on a up and down scale. It's overinflated. There's a lot of things happening. The job numbers came out this morning were a little lackluster compared to what they were supposed to be. But they're not, again, they'll be revised. We know that the revision will be following the announcement of these things. But on the other hand, the job numbers, if you start breaking them down into hourly wage increases or decreases, that looks like an increase, but you have to take into consideration a lot of these people are working less hours. So an hourly wage may be increasing, but the hourly week is less, or they're part-time, or they're people going back into a job that they were forced to go back to the office on that had been working from home. We don't know what the job numbers, how they're playing with them. But I listened to Charles Payne this morning, who kind of ironed it out for everybody. And if you get an opportunity to either go on YouTube and see if they've posted that yet, or catch his show this morning, and he'll talk about it again, I'm sure. So the stock market was a slight fall yesterday. The futures were somewhat down this morning, but not drastically. So we'll see where they go with the news that was reported by the Fed this morning and by the government, but that's it. And we know that the economic talk that Trump gave yesterday was quite well received by most of the people that were in attendance at that particular function that he was at. And, of course, Kamala's makes no sense, but she's working on cleaning up how she's going to present that to you for the rest of this weekend and right up until the debate on Tuesday at 9 o'clock on ABC, I guess. So hopefully the moderator is not in Pittsburgh giving her all the answers and giving her the questions. Wouldn't surprise me. Which brings us to the next thing in the news, which you won't get on MSNBC, and you're not going to hear too awful much on CNN about it, or any of the mainstream lying networks that are just in it for winning an election for one side. Hunter Biden went to trial yesterday, or they were supposed to pick jury yesterday, and he went in with the big surprise and said that, well, he didn't want to put anybody through this, so he's going to plead guilty to all these 9 counts that they had, and which shocked the judge, number one, and also shocked the prosecutors because they had no expectation of this happening and were not happy about it. They wanted to have everything exposed, and he does not want some things exposed, especially if things that are provable out of the laptop that has now been deemed real, folks. It wasn't a Russia hoax. And they're starting this up again. If you listen to Merrick Garland and that whole bunch of sycophants, you're going to hear that they're starting up a new Russian hoax or a Russian interference thing for elections. Well, that's not true either. They figured they'd go back to the playbook and get what worked out and see if they can make that go viral. And that's what they're up to there. But they're not mentioning much in mainstream media about Hunter's trick yesterday. They asked Karine Jean-Pierre yesterday if he was going to go ahead and commute sentence or pardon Hunter. And he flat out said again, no. But we'll see. You know, that's when he said no. He was running as a candidate, and now that he's dropped out, things can change. Or he can make a deal if Kamala's elected for Kamala to drop the charges and forgive everything. But not fair. Because this guy is a psychopath, and if you read any of what I've read that was in the indictment, you would quickly see that no one in their correct mind, and I don't care if you're a crack addict or not, you're not going to act in that fashion. I mean, for $1 million for sex clubs and blah, blah, blah. It gets worse. It should have been brought out to the public in a free trial so they know what you're dealing with regard to the Biden family makeup. He dragged that wife of his through the court yesterday and out of the court with a smirk on his face. He is the most disingenuous person that I've ever laid eyes on. He knows what he's done. He knows that he's ripped off all these countries, and he knows that he's packed away millions of dollars. Did he go through his side? I'm sure that, it was well spent on fancy cars, houses, and ladies of the night, and bizarre acting sex clubs. But they don't want that to be brought out right now because it could harm Kamala's chances of, I don't know what the connection is there, but it wouldn't surprise me. So anyway, that's all the news in a nutshell going into this weekend. So let's, now that we've heard it and talked about it, let's clear our minds of all this nonsense and let's get together this evening and say a prayer for this nation and say a prayer for all those who just lost their lives in the school shootings and the people injured in the school shootings, and say a prayer for our families that we can survive the rest of this 60-some days before election. So I'd like you all to have an enjoyable weekend and do a little meditating, clear your mind, and hope and pray for the best. As I always say, be prepared for the worst, because we don't know what's just around the corner for the United States of America or your state. So with that, I'm going to say I would love to see you relax this weekend and think about how you want to prepare for the worst and pray for the best. So with that, I'm going to say have a very, very happy Friday. Kaiser and I will be out probably somewhere this weekend and shoot some film on something relaxing. Maybe we can find a great drive-in and go hit that. But anyway, from the Kaiser Report on Friday, we have to say bye-bye now. God bless.
Lazy J Farms has been raising the finest cattle and all-natural pork for 3 generations on the family farm in Fall Branch. Their blonde Aquitaine herd offers a leaner, healthier, and more tasteful beef. And the butcher shop is local, farm to table, and 100% authentic. This is the way your grandfather shot for me, with steaks cut to order, quality assured, and ready to ship to your door. Open Thursday through Saturday on Bloomingdale Road in Kingsport. Come see us.